the internet has become an increasingly important part of our everyday lives. While it's hard to imagine modern life without Google or YouTube, it's interesting to reflect on how much the web has changed over the last few decades. In this bar chart race of most popular websites, we look at the most visited websites around the world, drawing data from SimilarWeb. This animated video provides a historical rundown of the most popular websites since 1996, showing how much the internet has evolved since the early 90s. AOL was one of the first major web portals, back in the era of CD-ROMs and dial-up modems. In its heyday, the company dominated the market, largely due to an aggressive free trial campaign that cost millions of dollars to execute. Despite the large investment, the campaign worked. At its peak, AOL had over 30 million users, and a market cap of over $200 billion. It was the most popular website online until the early 2000s, when broadband started to replace dial-up. As the sands shifted, AOL struggled to stay relevant and was eventually sold to Verizon for just $4.4 billion. It took us almost 15 hours to make this video for you. Please like and subscribe, it will take you only 2 seconds. Before we proceed further, let's see what was the first website. The first web page went live on August 6, 1991. It was dedicated to information on the World Wide Web project, and was made by Tim Berners-Lee. It ran on a Next computer at the European Organization for Nuclear Research known as CERN. Following AOL's downfall, Yahoo became the next internet giant. Starting off as a web directory, Yahoo was the first website to offer localized indexes for major cities. At Yahoo's zenith, it was worth $125 billion, but a series of missed opportunities and failed acquisitions meant that it could not keep up. Like AOL, Yahoo is now also owned by Verizon, but remains a top 10 website globally. Yahoo started at Stanford University. It was founded in January 1994 by Jerry Yang and David Filo, who were electrical engineering graduate students when they created a website named Jerry and David's Guide to the World Wide Web. The guide was a directory of other websites, organized in a hierarchy, as opposed to a searchable index of pages. In April 1994, Jerry and David's Guide to the World Wide Web was renamed Yahoo. The word Yahoo is a backronym for yet another hierarchically organized oracle or yet another hierarchical officious oracle. The Yahoo.com domain was created on January 18, 1995. Msn Com is also among the top 10 most popular websites. MSN is a web portal and related collection of internet services and apps for Windows and mobile devices, provided by Microsoft and launched on August 24, 1995, the same release date as Windows 95. The Microsoft network was initially a subscription-based dial-up online service that later became an internet service provider named MSN Dial-Up. At the same time, the company launched a new web portal named Microsoft Internet Start and set it as the first default homepage of Internet Explorer. In 1998, Microsoft renamed and moved this web portal to the domain name msn.com, where it has remained. In June 2006, Google topped the list of most popular websites. It's no surprise that Google currently comes in at number 1. It started out in the early 90s as a university research project. Today, it's become virtually synonymous with the internet, which makes sense, considering 90% of all internet searches are made on Google-owned properties. But prior to Google's success, there were several other go-to search engines that paved the way for Google in many ways. Web crawler, one of the earlier search engines, web crawler was the first search engine to enable full-text search. At one point, the website was so popular, its server would constantly crash, making it virtually unusable during peak hours. Lycos, this was another pivotal search engine, created in 1994, a year before Yahoo. Lycos was the first of its kind to incorporate relevance retrieval, prefix matching, and word proximity. Infoseek, as Netscape's default search engine, Infoseek was popular during the web browser's heyday. Eventually, Infoseek was purchased by Disney and rebranded to Go.com. Unlike Infoseek, Lycos and WebCrawler have somehow managed to stick around. Both companies still exist today. Of course, they're nowhere near comparable to Google in terms of revenue or daily search volume. Google began in January 1996 as a research project by Larry Page and Sergey Brin when they were both PhD students at Stanford University in Stanford, California. The project initially involved an unofficial third founder, Scott Hassan, the original lead programmer who wrote much of the code for the original Google search engine, but he left before Google was officially founded as a company. While conventional search engines ranked results by counting how many times the search terms appeared on the page, they theorized about a better system that analyzed the relationships among websites. They called this algorithm PageRank. It determined a website's relevance by the number of pages and the importance of those pages that linked back to the original site. Larry told his ideas to Hassan, who began writing the code to implement Larry's ideas. Larry and Brin originally nicknamed the new search engine Backrub, because the system checked backlinks to estimate the importance of a site. Hassan as well as Alan Sterenberg were cited by Larry and Brin as being critical to the development of Google. Rajiv Motwani and Terry Winograd later co-authored with Larry and Brin the first paper about the project, describing PageRank and the initial prototype of the Google search engine, published in 1998. PageRank was influenced by a similar page ranking and site scoring algorithm earlier used for RankDex, developed by Robin Lee in 1996, with Larry Page's PageRank patent including a citation to Lee's earlier RankDex patent. Lee later went on to create the Chinese search engine Baidu. Unless you are a Gen Zer, you probably remember Myspace. Like Lycos and web crawler, Myspace technically still exists, although it's certainly not the high-traffic site it used to be. Myspace created in 2004, it became a hub for musicians and music fans on the web. In just a year, the website saw massive growth, and by 2005, it was acquired by News Corporation. Myspace continued to dominate the social media landscape until 2008, when Facebook took over as the Internet's most popular social media platform. Facebook's story is well known at this point. The Zuckerberg-led creation was a social networking site that was exclusive to Harvard students, but it soon opened up to dozens of other universities and then finally the general public in 2006. Just 2 years later, and the site had 100 million active users, rising to the top of the social media spectrum. Although Facebook often finds itself mired in controversy today, the site remains the world's most popular social media platform on the internet with close to 3 billion users. It's hard to predict what the future holds for Facebook, or for any of the other websites currently dominating the web. If anything is clear from this bar chart race animation, it's that the list of the world's most popular websites is constantly shifting, and only time will tell what the next few decades will bring. Thanks for watching, and don't forget to subscribe for more bar chart race videos.